Hello, this is Donna Tushoff, or Donna T Crafting, and today we're going to make a card with Pixi Dust Designs. We're going to be using this Dandelion die set, which has a really cute dandelion along with some pieces that are flying away, as you know dandelions do. It also has this beautiful love sentiment that works really well with the dandelion. We're also going to be using this vintage lace die set. This has 3 different dies that make some wonderful vintage lace pieces that you can use in a lot of different ways on your cards. So we're going to be using those. I am going to show you though first, I did some cutting of each of the lace pieces. I did these mostly in glitter stock just to give you an idea of what the different lace pieces look like. And I think they're really cool. There's a lot of different ideas that I had with these lace pieces, and I think you can use them in a lot of different ways. So as you can see, I cut out quite a bit to use for future projects. I'm going to start with a blue piece of paper, and I'm going to add some color to it. Obviously, I put this in double time because all I'm doing is ink blending some color onto this blue paper to make a gradient. I'm using some lighter blue, and then I've added a little bit of darker blue at the top. This is just doing some shading on this cardstock so that we have what I think is going to look like a gradient sky. Then I took one of those vintage lace pieces in green glitter stock, and I'm going to use that on this card as well. I cut the dandelion from some green plain cardstock and the white pieces from some cream color glitter stock, and I added all those little pieces. You can see it's one die that cuts out a whole bunch of those little pieces. I'm adding the cream color pieces to the dandelion. I also had the extra pieces that are like flying away. I had those cut in green, which I then added some glitter stock, and then I cut a middle piece, which is also in the cream glitter stock. And then I had a green glitter stem. I'm going to put my dandelion coming out of my green vintage lace glitter stock at the bottom. This was really to kind of look like interesting grass is what I'm using the lace, but I thought it was really pretty in the lace pattern. I had a sentiment called Wish Big Wish or Wish Big, either way. It has those 2 words that I am going to use as my sentiment for this card. So I glued on my vintage lace at the bottom. It is a little longer than my piece of cardstock, so I'll trim off the edge here. And then I'm going to put the dandelion just under that. So I did cut, the reason it was a little big is because I did cut my cardstock down a little bit. I wanted to have a white edge on my card. So that's the reason it was a little bit big, and I had to trim it off a little bit. I thought the white edge would really pick up the little pieces of the dandelion that are in the glitter stock. I thought that would be really pretty that way. So we add our dandelion on here, and it kind of is blowing in the wind, so it's a little bit at an angle, which I think is really neat as well. And as you can see, my gradient on my blue cardstock was to look like a sky, so the dandelion is blowing in the wind on a beautiful blue sky day is what my story was with this card. Once I have my dandelion in place, then I have all the little pieces. Again, the little stems that are blowing off are all cut from one die, so you have several of those cut from one die. And then all the little white pieces or cream color pieces are cut from one die, and I just did it twice so that I'd have enough for the flower and for the extra pieces and some extras as well to blow away too. Got my Wish Big here that I'm going to put as my sentiment next to my dandelion. And I'm envisioning that the wind is blowing from the direction that, the Wish Big is coming from, like that direction. That's why the dandelion is kind of blowing the opposite way. So since that is the case, I'm going to put most of my blowing away pieces away from on that other side. You can see I just have them kind of falling in different places. And then I'm adding a couple of just the cream color. So like those little bits have fallen off, even the little stem part. So there's lots of possibilities here. You could do this in any different ways, but I think this is really um, a good way to make it fill up the card with some interesting pieces from the dandelion. I had to pick out all my little pieces and make sure they were turned the right way because these are little tiny pieces, so it does take a little bit of making sure that they're kind of like gems. You got to make them sure that they're turned the right way, and then you can pick them up with a little gem picker. So just put your dot of glue down and pick them up with a gem picker, and it works pretty much the same way as if I was putting gems on this card. I do have my flyaway stems and these going different directions, making sure that they're not all faced the same way as far as the stems not all going the same way and the pieces, because I would envision that these would just kind of fall in different directions and kind of face different ways. I'm often indecisive of where to put my next pieces, so it takes me a little bit to kind of think through where do I want to put that dot of glue for my next piece, etc. So it takes me a little bit to decide that. A lot of times I would lay it out and then just come through and pick it up and put the dot of glue under it. I often do that as well. But this time I took the brave way and just put the dot of glue down and without laying it out like that. With that all in place, you have your completed card. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please make sure you check out the Pixi Dust Designs YouTube channel and subscribe to it, and also check out their website for all the wonderful products they have to offer. With that, I wish you a wonderful day and happy crafting.